Today on the show, we're going to talk about Jordan Peele's feature film debut, the film Get Out. All this and more on What the Hell Did We Just Watch? Welcome to another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, Lumotional Lou, and this is the only show that helps spread TV and movie awareness for you, for the audience, the best people to listen to this show. I know it's a little bit over the top, but I just want to thank all you guys for listening. A little preemptive thank you, because this show is about to reach its first year. And I know people listen, and I know people got something to say. Though they're not so vocal on social media just yet, it happens here or there. They got something to say, but it's all right. I know people are listening. I know people got something to say, or agree with me, or disagree with me, and that's fine. But I just want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being a part of this show. I want to thank past people that have been on the show, and trust me, I will get more people. They're coming in. Trust me, there's gonna be more people talking and having to, have something to say, but just gotta be patient. But for now, we're just gonna talk about this film, Jordan Peele's feature film debut. The comedian, now turned writer and filmmaker, director for a horror film, Get Out.
I'm bringing you home.
How bad can it be?
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you're hungry, my man.
I would have voted for Obama for a third term.
Something is weird. It's the people.
Something wrong?
I can't move.
You've been chosen.
We're so scared.
Get out. Rated R.
Now, the only thing that I can really say about Get Out by Jordan Peele is I found myself that I should rate it as not just the film itself, which I think is good. I think it's a little overrated if you ask me, but it's good film. But I need to address and criticize also the way he made the film, the way he wrote the film, and the way he directed the film. And I think that he deserves that kind of criticism, and just he deserves that kind of like talk to, and that's actually a very good thing, and especially due to the fact that this was his first major film that he directed, that he wrote, that that he's not a part of in terms of in front of the camera, but he has everything to do with it behind the camera. He had a vision, he had a story, he had an idea, and he executed it. And I think in terms of that, he executed it finessely. It was excellent in terms of the technical aspect of the film. He did a very, very exceptional job, and the film was good in terms of the story and all that stuff, but we'll get to that, but let me just first kind of tell you guys, if you haven't seen it, or if you don't know what it's about and you want a little synopsis, the film is about an interracial couple who do this kind of meet the parents thing. They're going to meet the white girl's parents, and I really hate using race, as a thing. And you'll know what I mean in a little bit. But got a white girl, got a black boyfriend. They do the meet the parents thing. And when they get there, everything seems good and cool. And all of a sudden, there's this rabbit hole kind of aspect of our main character and the way everything goes down. Now, like I said, Jordan Peele, technically he did an amazing job. I think he did a great job in how to make this film, and I'm just going to go with the things that I like first this time. And I know, I go with what I don't like with certain times, but with this one, I'm going to go with what I like first. On the technical side of this film, it makes me very happy. He has a very good eye. The way that certain of what happens to our main character in terms of like how he goes in and the way that his mental journey of how things are done. And if you've seen this film, it's going to be a little mini spoiler, you know. He gets hypnotized, and the way that those films are, those scenes are shot are actually pretty awesome. They kept me watching it from its kind of like dull and cliched story that it has. And he proved that by telling a simple story that he has an eye. He has a very good eye about how he wanted to show how things are going to be shown. And I think that's excellent. And one of the things that I really, really love about this film is it's just certain scenes, they stick right out. You know what I mean? And you can really, you know, I don't really want to say too much about it, but there are just certain scenes like the way that he gets hypnotized, that the way that looks, the way that certain scenes end, like just before going into a new transition or like there was this one moment where he literally just like is about to like do something, and then like because of his hypnotism he like blanks out and just like conks out. You know, I just thought like the way that he handled suspense in the film was excellent. I love the way he wrote suspense in the film, and that's excellent. You know, I think that not the problem, but the thing is with this film is that the only good things I really have about this is that the way he made the film is what stands out the most for me in this film. The story itself, not really. The movie was fine, but there really isn't anything to really talk about in there. You know what I mean? That can only just like kind of say like how happy I am for a man of color like Jordan Peele, and someone like that as a comedian like Jordan Peele, to do something like the way Jim Carrey did, where he kind of came out of his comedic shell and showed people that he has other talents out there, that he, like Jim Carrey in terms of an actor, that he can push forward a dramatic film. He doesn't have to be a funny guy or a goofball, just like Jordan Peele can prove that outside of his acting abilities, which, you know, his comedic abilities, he has shown Hollywood that he can write a screenplay well, and that more importantly, that he can direct a screenplay very, very well. He has a great eye. He has a great idea of how he feels that films should be made for his films, you know, and that's a good step. That's a great step in filmmaking, and that's one of the things that makes him a person that when he makes his second film, I want to know about it. You know, that's 100%, you know, true right there, you know, and that is something that makes me very happy, because in this day and age now, we're finally seeing, you know, especially within the last 2 years, we're seeing men and women of color making films, quality films that don't have to be a stereotype within a stereotype. And, you know, I'll get a little bit to more what I'm saying about, but if you follow me, just, you know, just listen, you know, if this is if race is too sensitive for you, I totally understand that. I have no problems with you skipping this episode and going for another one, because this is something that I feel that is very important to talk about, you know, race in cinema and the kinds of films that people of color want to make. And this includes also Hispanic people, you know, and I am Hispanic. You know, proud, you know, Hispanic. But when it comes to film and quality films, this is a very important issue, because I feel that this is something that we lack in, you know, as Spanish people, and also black people, black women, or women in general, because they fall into this category. It's not just race. It's just like anyone else but, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying but, because I totally love just films in general. You know, and I love it more when a filmmaker does not stay in his bubble and feels like that the only way that, you know, people will watch his films is if they are done or shown a specific subject matter and all this and that. Like, no, I totally I totally disagree with that, you know. And Jordan Peele, though the story is very cliche, is a good story. It is a story I've seen before in many films before it, but that's not bad because he was able to show me something that was worth showing in what I felt was a very cliched story. You know, most people have never really seen this movie, but I can name 2 right off the bat. Shit, fuck it, I can name 3 off the bat. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Being John Malkovich, and the Stepford Wives. It's like all of that all in one. But now, that shouldn't upset you. Oh, he wasn't original. No, if anything, as a filmmaker, you should really appreciate him because now he has shown you what kind of films he likes, you know, like in his private time. And a filmmaker, I think, really shines when he shows his or hers, like the things that they love and the things that they like to show off. You know, and it comes out in their films, and that is one of the things that I love about filmmakers, that they put the things that they love in the films they make. You know what I mean? And that is not a problem, not whatsoever. But like I said, that's pretty much all I have about the good things about it. There wasn't really anything that blew my mind in the film itself as a story. There wasn't really anything there for me to say that stuck out. Some people might say the race issue thing, but to me, like, race in films is something that I really don't like in them. You know what I mean? I've seen so many in my lifetime that when they talk about race issues in a film, if there is one in there, if Jordan Peele would say, like, yeah, you know, there's a race issue. There were some scenes in there that, like, felt like, you know, maybe for some it would shock, but for me it just fell flat, you know, to be honest. And I can just, like, kind of segue into the things that I didn't like about the film when it comes to the story, because you already know that technically I think he did an amazing job. But the things that I didn't like is mostly it is in the story, unfortunately. And one of the things that really that I didn't like is the fact that is like I said, I seen it before. You know, there wasn't really anything there to sink my teeth into that was, like, quote unquote kind of new, you know. But that's fine. You know, there's no such, you know, he's not the only one to have fallen into that kind of hole. I mean, anybody, and it doesn't even matter what color, it just, that's the way that the cookie crumbles, you know. And I was very happy that he was able to show me something else that he's very good in, you know. And I'm still looking forward, whether he writes or not, his next film or whatever it is that he's, you know, venturing off to. I hope that Jordan Peele is here to stay. He's somebody that I would like to see until he majorly fucks up, because he didn't majorly fuck up. Get Out was above average first film. You know, I've seen worse from very good filmmakers, and I've seen, you know, way worse movies that they've made that are considered their first films, and that's fine. You know, David Fincher, one of the most amazing directors in cinema history, directed Alien 3, and that's not a very good fucking movie, you know what I mean? So that's just, you know, that's fine, you know. And Get Out is a much better film than Alien 3. Like, you know, like, it trumps it, like, you know, over and over again, you know. So one of the things, like I said, like, I don't like is that the story is not very original. You know, like I said, I've seen it before. It's like Meet the Parents mixed in with the Stepford Wives and a little Being John Malkovich, a little bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and things like that. Like, and he, you know, got his own twist in it. You know, he was able to establish an audience, and there's a lot of people that have never seen any of the films that I have just said on the list of where he got his ideas from, and those are the people that those were his majority who his audiences were, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But that's why this show exists. What the hell did we just watch is the reason why this show exists, you know, because it's for people that want to see those films, and I'm glad to have shown the films that I've shown in the past year to the people that have sat down and watched something and got something to say. So bless them, and now they're able to watch, see something else that they've never seen, you know. And I like that, you know, spreading the word. It's that kind of feeling. I didn't like I didn't have a problem with the meet the parents aspect of the story. I just didn't think that adding race was, it wasn't original and it wasn't different. I think the whole, race part of the story is what holds the story down for it to be a better film for other people, and that includes me. So I think that race doesn't need to be a part of your story. You could have made this film and race not be a thing. You know what I mean? And if you ask me, how the hell can you have made it? Here's an idea. Why couldn't it have been a film about old people who have found a way to live in a young person? I don't think it necessarily needed to be black. Being John Malkovich didn't have a problem with that issue. Race wasn't a thing. It was old people who found a way to live forever and transfer themselves into a younger body again and again and again and again. And that's more of a comedic dramatization of it. But here's where Get Out could have really taken the hold of it and said, fuck it, why don't we do that and turn it into a horror movie? It would have felt more fresh. It wouldn't have been original, but it definitely would have felt more fresh. You know what I mean? And I think that the whole race part about it is cliched. It's a crutch, not a cliche. It's a crutch. I think it's an easy way to get to your audience, which kind of means that you're kind of like taking us for being stupid. And that's, I'm not saying that's fine, but to each your own. Hollywood is weird when it comes to things like that. And that doesn't, that's just the way it is. That's the way that films are made. I don't, there were these parts that were like kind of freaky. And when you find out why they were done that way, it was fine because, again, I already knew that race was going to be an issue in this film. It has this cool to be black kind of storyline in the film a little bit. And that's where it hurts it. I think that the film is weighed down in terms of a story, creativity story. I think it's what holds it down. It weighs the film down a lot. And, but not to the point where I couldn't enjoy it, and I think that, and the reason why I'm saying that it weighs it down a lot is because now Jordan Peele, for some people, not everybody, because I'm not that type of person, but I know some people that really weighed themselves into the film and really love the film for the racism parts of it. And they have like these things like racially charged comments about the film itself. And that kind of like upsets me because it's like, oh, you're like, certain people, they're just like, you're losing yourself in what the film is. And you think that there's this like message that was supposed to be made, aware to people. And Jordan Peele never came out and talked about any quote unquote race issues about the film and all that shit, because there isn't one. That wasn't his angle to make the film. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there wasn't one in there, that he didn't use race to do it, but I think it's misinterpreted. And I think Get Out is a misinterpreted film for what it's supposed to be. Believe it or not, in a nutshell, it's just supposed to be a horror film. And he used race, to tell the story, and that's where I think it weighed him down. Now, if it didn't deal with any issues of race, it would have, just, why couldn't they just have been a interracial couple? They do the meet the parents thing. It's a little heavy-handed and force-fed a little bit, like with the whole I would have voted for Obama if there could have been a third term. That's just like, so like, it's cheesy. That's where like in terms of the writing, it falls a little bit into like shitty territory, like eyes rolling territory. Like that doesn't grab me, especially, it just didn't. It should have been like a Stepford Wives, Body Snatchers kind of thing, where old people are like using young bodies to do the things that they haven't been able to do in God knows how long. Like that to me works. A lot better. I didn't like the comedic relief. I thought it was unnecessary. Not saying that the main character shouldn't have had a friend to talk to or call. It's just that he was there for one purpose and one purpose only. You know what I mean? He was an ex machina, and it was there to just make you laugh if you thought the movie was way too serious. And what is wrong with horror films? not wanting to be or stay serious. Like, is that really a problem? Is that really an issue? Like, come on, dude. Like, just don't worry about it. If you have a vision and you want to tell a scary story, tell a scary story. Don't worry about your audience being so freaked out that they're upset that they couldn't laugh once or twice in it. It's kind of stupid. That's pretty much all I can really say about this film. I didn't have much, I think it's a little overrated. I didn't think it was a bad film. That's not what I'm saying. But it has like a 99% approval in the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm just like, that seems a little too high. That means that there's really nothing bad to say about this film. But if you ask me, all I saw were mostly bad things in terms of the story. But technically, no. Like, that's where his film shines. And I want to take this time real quick before I head out that Jordan Peele, like I said earlier, you're doing a great job. You got something to tell. I know that you got some work now lined up in front of you, and I hope that you don't bite off more than you can chew. I've been hearing rumors about, certain films that they want you to do now, and what you're taking on and things like that. And I think that your finesses in writing, you know what I mean? And you got a great eye, but I think that you can finesse your writing a little bit and really concentrate on the writing aspect of your career right now. Because believe it or not, I feel that if he keeps this up, he will dwarf his acting career and have, and will have something really amazing to say later in life as a filmmaker. Like he, in a way, you tackled something that, Get Out is a horror film, and it's a horror film that I've seen many times, but he did it in a way where he shows promise. He did it in a way where if he were to do another horror film, I think he would make a better film. If he were to do another drama, like he has it in there. He's telling us that he has other things up his sleeve that as a filmmaker he can do over, how he couldn't do it as an actor. And a lot of actors do it like this. Like, look at Ben Affleck. As an actor, he's fine, but as a filmmaker, he's amazing. Mel Gibson, same thing. He's a great actor, but he's even a bigger influence in filmmaking behind the scenes. Clint Eastwood is the same exact way. Like, these people, they make, they're in film, but they also make amazing films. The films that they've made are pretty fucking amazing. You know what I mean? So I just want to, just tell them to keep it up, keep going. And I think I've talked way too much about Get Out. And if you like what you heard, or if you, just keep supporting the show, you keep listening. Thank you for any listens you've done in the past. Thank you for being thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing. Very happy. We're coming very, very close to our 1 year anniversary, so I'm very happy about that. So I can't wait to pass that hurdle of the first year, which is it's coming up in about 2 weeks. So if you just want to keep up with what's going on and you want to, start commenting and sharing and, letting me know what you like, what you don't like, if, about what I said, it's always welcome. You can follow me on Facebook.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Instagram.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Twitter.com/TheHellPcast. You can find me on YouTube, SoundCloud. What the hell did we just watch? You could just put that in the search engine on Stitcher Radio, Podbean, Podbay, all that stuff. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, whatever is your destination of podcasting, you can find me there. If it's not there, just leave me an email if you want to, for anything or for that, at whatthehellpcast@yahoo.com, and you can definitely just leave something there. And if this podcast is not available on a certain place that you like listening to podcasts, let me know and I will make it happen where you can listen to that. You know what I mean? So without further ado, this is L'Emotional Lou, and this is the film Get Out. This is your friendly neighborhood professional appreciator, and I just got one thing to say. It's been L'Emotional.